Hello and welcome to Who Are You, the show where we get the opposition's perspective and all the information you need to know ahead of the upcoming fixture. We're going to start, as we always do, by asking, who are you?
Hi, I'm BenMightSay, a Liverpool fan, YouTuber, got just over 2,000 subscribers, been doing YouTube for about 6 months, live in London, Liverpool fan, lifelong, and can't wait for the game tomorrow.
Thank you very much for doing this. We're going to start by asking, what do you feel about your season so far? Where do you think you're going to finish? And do you think you'll make Champions League next year?
The aim this season was to challenge for the title, and I think evidently we're already about 12 points behind Man City, and it seems like they're just going to run away with it, and we're just nowhere near good enough to be challenging. And like I say, even top 4 seems like a big ask at the moment. I think if we do manage to win tomorrow, and if Chelsea and Arsenal drop points, which they might, then we're going to be level with those guys. So it's been disappointing. There have been some positives for sure. Obviously, Mohamed Salah coming in, scoring 10 goals in 16 games is great. Coutinho's form's been good. It's great that we managed to keep hold of him, and Mane's carry on where he left off, minus the injury and the suspension that's seen him miss a few games. There have been positives, but obviously in defence, everyone's laughing at us. We've gone to Man City and lost 5-0. We conceded 4 at Spurs. We've got the worst away record in the league in terms of goals conceded, so far from perfect. Disappointing. We're out of the title race already, so in that sense, it's disappointing. But look, we've got 2 3-0 wins back to back now. Momentum's kind of starting to come back again. 2 clean sheets at home in a row. The home form actually seems to be okay. I'm not particularly confident in finishing top 4. I think there are 4 better teams than us. United have got a lot better. City are going to finish in top 4, obviously. Spurs still look like they're getting even better themselves. And Chelsea, last year's champions, they got a lot of firepower still. And you've got Arsenal as well. So top 4 probably seems like a big ask. But look, it's still possible. And obviously, if we get the guys that are injured back playing and in form again, then it's still very much a possibility.
Liverpool are currently suffering in the same way we are, with quite a few injuries to key players. Can you give us a brief update on who's going to be out for the weekend and who might possibly be returning?
Yeah, so obviously Nathaniel Klein's been out all season. He won't be back. Same with Lallana. Coutinho picked up a niggle a couple of weeks ago. He's still going to miss out. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Sturridge is back, and he looks like he's going to start in place of Coutinho. Wijnaldum picked up an injury in midweek, so that's another blow. It just seems to keep on coming. Dejan Lovren's out. That might not be a bad thing for some Liverpool fans, given his recent form and his kind of frame of mind at the moment. Sadio Mane, though, is probably the positive. Klopp revealed today that he might get 20-25 minutes out of him at the weekend, so perhaps Sturridge might get the hook on 60, might bring Mane on for a bit of pace. I know Sturridge had a great game at West Ham last year, and hopefully we'll see the same again from our point of view. But Mane in the last sort of 20-25 minutes would be ideal for us. So that's kind of the latest on that side of things.
You've mentioned them both here, and no one who comes on this channel gets to get away without being put on the fence or put on the docket in some sense. So if you had to pick one to sell, who would you sell, Coutinho or Mane?
That is the hardest question I've ever been asked, I think. Probably. I mean, do these players? If I sell Mane, does Coutinho stay for 5 years? Or because the risk is with Coutinho that he leaves this summer anyway. So
take it how you want. I'm just putting you on the fence. That's all I'm doing. I'm just shoving you to the wolves and then leaving you to it. Take it however you want.
They're almost equally important, and I can't believe I'm saying that, because when we signed Mane, I wasn't, I was excited, but I wasn't necessarily over the moon with it. Coutinho, we know his qualities. We know he's going to be a world-class player one day if he isn't already. If I was to sell one, it would be Coutinho, just because his attitude isn't quite like Mane's. I think Mane's a bit more. Mane's a bit more delighted to be here. He scores more goals. He's a bit more productive in the final third. He always seems more lively. And him and Salah on either wing is, his dreamland as far as pace and end product and goals and assists are concerned. Our attitude towards him isn't as positive as the other players in our squad. Doesn't mean I think Coutinho's not a better player than Mane, but I think going forward, Mane is probably the man to drive us forward. And we will replace Coutinho, I'm sure, eventually with another sort of creative number 10 sort of player that can sort of drop in deep and create and score goals.
What would you say your strengths are as a team? What kind of tactics are you going to be employing when you come to beat us?
Well, I mean, the team picks itself. The defence picked itself due to the injuries. Midfield, likewise, Henderson, Milner, Chan will be the midfield. And then up front, I think we're going to go for Salah on the right, Firmino up front, and Sturridge sort of off the left, maybe Sturridge and Firmino interchanging. If you do play three at the back, which my mate who's a West Ham fan insists that you will, because he seems to think that's how you play best, then it's got to be working in between the lines. It's got to be getting in that space between the wing backs and the centre backs, something Mohamed Salah does with ease. Just using our pace. I mean, obviously, I think Declan Rice is going to play for you guys. Got to be exploiting him. Got to be exploiting his players that maybe are square pegs in round holes. Using our pace, movement, creativity up front, which, I think we're probably among the best in the league at that. We're not necessarily the most clinical team in the league in terms of finishing and taking chances, but I think Salah's conversion rate is actually better than what we thought based on some stats I saw last night. He's up there with like Neymar in terms of chances converted. So it's just got to be pace, movement. And with that front three of Sturridge, Firmino, and Salah, which has got the perfect mix of sort of, as I say, speed and just genuine ability and, wonderful players to watch. I'm sure we're going to cause plenty of problems to that West Ham defence.
On the opposite side of the pitch, you've had problems defensively. You keep chopping and changing who's there. Is that your biggest weakness? And what would you say is the way we can score against you? Is it Andy Carroll? Is it Hernandez? What kind of tactics should we be employing?
I think a bit of both. I mean, I think Joel Matip is a defender that's been overrated by Liverpool fans ever since he joined. We know he doesn't like playing against pace. Hernandez is quite nippy. He gets in good positions. He makes good runs. So I think he would be tricky to deal with. But then again, Andy Carroll loves a physical battle, and there's nothing that a lot of these Liverpool players hate more than an intense physical duel. That they struggle with that a lot. But then again, having said that, we did deal with Lukaku quite well against United at Anfield. So. If you just lined up 4-4-2 or just stuck Carroll and Hernandez up front and just said we're going to go for it in the first 15 minutes and actually panicked us like Spurs did at Wembley, then I'd be more concerned than if you sort of said we're going to sit back and absorb the pressure and hit you on the break. I think if you go for it, you've got a real good chance because our defence is going to be makeshift. We've got injuries and confidence. Even though we've got 2 clean sheets at home, the away form still a concern. So we're going to be vulnerable. You guys need to be going for it. Hammer and tong from the start, and I think that's your best chance. The crowd's got to get behind West Ham. It's got to be all action. The tempo's got to be fast for you. If you can hit us where it hurts most, which is in defence, then you've got a real chance.
Final question: what's your prediction?
I said on my channel I think we're going to win the game 3-1. It's kind of maybe heart over head. I'm always nervous going to West Ham away. Ever since our record against you in sort of between 2014 and 2016, I remember the 3-0 win you had at Anfield. I remember the FA Cup tie when Abona scored. I remember the 3-1 when I think Sacco and Valencia scored. There was a 2-0 when I think Antonio and Carroll scored. There just seems to be so many bad memories over the last sort of 2 or 3 years against West Ham. Even at Anfield last season, you managed to get a point. Which, I mean, my attitude going into the game when we beat you 4-0 last year, which was my first visit to the London Stadium, which was a great day out, was very, very negative. It was very nervous. And I still do have those nerves going into this one, but given your defensive injuries and your form, obviously, I mean, you lost 3-0 at home to Brighton. You've not quite made the London Stadium a fortress this season, unfortunately for yourselves. Look, our away form's not great, but I think we're just going to have too much up front. I just think Salah, I just can't see him not scoring. Firmino's kind of back among form again, and Sturridge scored 2 and 2. So I think we're going to have just a bit too much, but I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. So I'm going to go 3-1.
I appreciate the tactic of reminding us of all the times we actually did quite well against you before, ripping us back down to earth and reminding us how terrible we are at the moment. Thank you so much for doing this. We really do appreciate it. Let everyone know where they can find all your stuff. So
my handle is BenMightSay across all social platforms. I mean, obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, so a lot of my content is Liverpool based, but some of my content outside of Liverpool has gone quite well. We did a Soccer Saturday video recently, which is where we got together at 3 p.m. and we were going to go on a night out to whichever team scored first. We went to that town for a night out, and we've done that twice. So those videos on my channel, they're sort of most popular videos, so I'm sure you'll enjoy those. I do other day trips as well, so like non-league games and stuff. So yeah, it's all round good fun for all football fans. So BenMightSay on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook.
Definitely go and check him out, subscribe, and then also subscribe to us just here. We're going to have reviews. We're going to have all that good stuff after the match, and then obviously all the videos next week and further on. And also we did a preview the other night. We had a special guest on it. Go check it out. You can click it here. go and have a gander. It's pretty good. But thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.